guys, in today's video let's see what this Foxwell i70 Pro can do on this Toyota Yaris Hybrid. I've got the transmitter plugged in and we've got power. Okay guys, so in general most of my videos are meant to save you a lot of money by repairing the car yourself, and today's video is no exception. It has the same purpose, however it's gonna be in a different way because I've seen a lot of people buying scan tools just to see what the scan tool can do on their car, or what they can repair more if they own a professional scan tool. Okay, so let's start with the maintenance, and we've got here a couple of modules which you can reset, but not all of these are available for this Toyota Yaris Hybrid. So let's see which one is available. And yes, you can do ABS work on it. As you might know, this hybrid, once you press on the brake pedal, it doesn't activate the brakes necessarily, but it will send a signal to this electric motor, and that will take the braking power and send it to the battery. Alright, so now it's doing some air bleeding by itself. Now let's see the next one. Air fuel ratio. Let's see. For Toyota is not available. So with this function, if you change the hybrid battery, you can relearn it on the computer. Change tire size. I don't think this is available for Toyota. Clutch adaptation. We don't have a clutch. It's not available for Toyota. CVT. This should be available for Toyota. Let's see. Asia. Toyota. Yes. Okay, it's not supported. This car has a special transmission because we've got as well a motor between the transmission and the engine. Diesel particle filter. This is not going to be available for this car, I believe. No communication because we don't have such thing. It's not a diesel. Electric parking brake. Again, we don't have such function because I've got a manual handbrake. I don't know. Let's see what it does. Probably says no communication. Evap test. Let's see. This one should. Okay, we don't have a Toyota here. Gear learn is not for Toyota. Headlamp is not for Toyota. Immobilizer. Let's see. Manual selection because the smart VIN doesn't work for some reason. Okay, so basically it goes into this mode where you can do a bunch of tests. Let's see. As you can see guys, you've got access to a huge amount of data, but in case that you've got a problem with the windows, for example, you can go a lot more in depth and diagnose the problem. Let's see the injectors. Well, there is no communication. That odometer is not available for Toyota. Oil reset. Yeah, we cannot do an oil reset on this. Prime fuel pump, let's see. Is not available for Toyota. Replace airbag ACU module. Is not available for this car. This one is for electric power steering system, so let's see what it can do. Now it's adjusting the steering wheel. This light was flashing. Seat match, not available for Toyota. Suspension, I don't think it's available, even though there is a Toyota here. We've got regular suspension. The transmission oil, not available. Tire pressure sensor, this car doesn't have this. Throttle position sensor, that should be available. Transmission adaptation, let's see. Not available for Toyota. Turbo, there is no turbo on this car. Windows door. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the maintenance. Now let's go into diagnostic, and let's start first with the OBD2 auto scan, and we can go in live data into the engine system status. This is the mill, and we can obviously, let's see if we've got codes. Nothing. Permanent codes, this doesn't support, I guess. Is not supported. Freeze frame is very important. Obviously we don't have any codes, so there is no freeze frame. And let's go into the live data and let's see the complete list. And here we go. We've got plenty of information around here. Let's start the engine. I'm gonna press on the acceleration pedal. It was in open loop, now it's in closed loop. This is a perfect value. The long-term fuel trim, it's 0. That's nice. intake manifold, absolute pressure sensor, engine rotation per vehicle, speed sensor, ignition timing change, ignition timing, intake air temperature, airflow rate, throttle position. Okay, the engine is started since 86 seconds. The car is not driving. Equivalence ratio is close to 1. That's a perfect value right there. It oscillates between 0.99 and 1.003. So you've got all these values. I'm not gonna read them for you because it's a long list. You can pause the video and watch if you want. So these are the live data you can see on OBD2 generic mode. We can see them on the graph, and we can have multi-graphs. There are gonna be only 2, okay? But you can also merge graph, and you're gonna see 4 values in the same time. Let's see what data we can see on the transmission. I'm gonna let the engine off. Well, here you got some more engine live data. So you've got only these 2 which are different for the transmission. I thought you can see something more, but that's pretty much it you can see here. Well, the important part is that you can read the codes in the transmission. Keep in mind that we are in OBD2, and that's not deep into the modules, which we're gonna do next, because we are done with OBD2. As I said, this car is also called VITS. You can do a quick scan that will show you all the trouble codes you have in all the modules, if you have any. Alright, so as you can see, we can read 12 modules, and none of them has any trouble code. Let's see to diagnosis and go to Powertrain. Here is the fun part. We can do bi-directional tests and go a lot deeper into live data. Live data, let's see live data, all data. We got the same data as on OBD2, however, we got a lot more, like throttle sensor voltage, throttle idle position, all the information about the throttle. Okay, we gotta keep the engine on. ISC position, electric load feedback, right? Fuel pump, speed status, it's on. Evap purge is off. And O2 sensors, long-term fuel trims in percentage. Knock feedback value, this is from the knock sensor. This is something that you cannot get into the OBD2. Idle spark advance, it doesn't show anything. VVT control status is on. Variable valve timing. Alright, so we can see also the temperature of the oxygen sensor number 2, and it makes sense that you cannot read the values from it yet because it's not warmed up. You can see the temperature is increasing slowly. There are a lot of them that are not available, obviously, but if your hybrid is different, you might use those data. Okay, we've got the electric water pump speed, air fuel ratio, bank 1. This has to be close to 14.7, and as you can see, it goes a little bit rich at the moment. So those were the live data available. Obviously, you can graph them. So if, for example, you are testing the catalytic converter, you can choose the relevant data feeds automatically, basically. Let's see active tests. So these are going to be the commands you can do on different parts of the engine. Let's see, control the injection volume. So you can watch this live data while you control a part. And this is, in my opinion, the most practical thing this tool can offer, because you can command the part while the engine is running and see the reaction on the engine. Okay, it does have an effect on the engine. I can almost kill the engine, you can see. Now let's say one small downside is that you cannot see this data right now on a graph. That will be perfect, but you can still see the numbers, so that's fine. Let's turn the evap solenoid on and see what happens. It did actually increase the RPMs, which makes sense. So through this test, even though you just open the evap solenoid, you are also testing the canister and the hoses which are attached to the fuel tank. So if you see, for example, the revolutions per minute of the engine increase, then you know that the engine is sucking a little bit more fuel. Let's see, we've got the coolant temperature to 92 degrees Celsius, and let's turn the electric cooling fan on. and the temperature obviously should decrease, and it does decrease, as you can see, 91. Now let's see the variable valve timing. Okay, so it has an impact on the engine speed. And I've got here cylinder number 1 misfire counts. Let's see if it registered it when I cut the fuel to cylinder number 1. The RPMs did change. This knock feedback should respond. I guess this knock feedback doesn't respond yet because I'm doing this manually. So you can get access to a lot of data from the hybrid system. Engine revolution 1500, and the MG1, the electric motor which is attached to the engine, has 5000 rotations per minute, which makes sense. You need that maximum torque available to rotate the engine. You can read the voltage after boosting and before boosting. That's basically the charging capacity of the inverter. It uses 11 Newton meters to charge the hybrid battery. This charge control value, well, we've got maximum of 15 kilowatts. So this is the maximum power of this electric motor, 15 kilowatts. Okay, so here are all the data available of the hybrid system. Data you can see here, this little dot in the corner. I'm just barely scratching the surface of how much data you've got here. There were no trouble codes on the airbag. This can be a very useful information if you want to buy the car and see if it was involved in an accident. You can turn on and off the headlights, door lock. Let's see, we can turn on the airbag lamp. Indicator oil pressure. Let's turn it on. And we've got the warning light. Okay guys, so that was pretty much it about the relationship between the Foxwell i70 Pro and Toyota Yaris Hybrid. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, please let me know. So until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next video.